It's working. Neville. It's working.
All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Salaka. I'm just reading the brother's comment and cracking up. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Welcome to another live lesson. This is just a various topic, just something I was thinking about last night on the way from camp. And I remember this clip in the movie I Am Legend. And that was the character. Will Smith's character was Dr. Robert Neville. And I remember that scene where he said, I can save you, I can save you. And pretty much this is the attitude that, a lot of these Israelites, especially some of these leaders in Israel, are taking. They're taking the attitude of as if they can save you. Now, yesterday on the way to camp, the Spirit jumped on me to do GMS on the move, dealing with Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai already paid the price, because that is our Savior. He's the one that's going to save us, not man, because man cannot save us. We can't save ourselves. The only thing we could do is hope that we're part of the elect, and that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai programs us to do the things that are pleasing in His sight, so that we could be delivered at the end. And that's the only hope that we have. So this is Jeremiah 17:5. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm. Because what these guys are trying to do is they're trying to take away or replace. They're no different than the plantation Christians that call themselves apologists, that are using that replacement theology. They're trying to replace. But instead of replacing Israel, they're trying to replace the Lord, Yahweh Shai, with themselves, put themselves in the forefront as if they're the saviors. And these are the anti-messiahs. Before I read this scripture, well, let me go here real quick. Just going in the spirit, whatever the spirit feeds me, I'll feed you, brothers. And shalom to the Akim, the elders, the Akim, and the Akwath and the common board, shalom. This is 1 John chapter 2 verse 18, and see, this is this topic here on the as far as the Antichrist is concerned, or anti-Messiah, is a very misunderstood topic. Everyone, in the plantation Christian church, whatever denomination they may be, whether it's Roman Catholic, whether it's Baptist, Buddhist, whatever. Well, not Buddhist. Buddhist is something else. But any of those plantation Christian denominations all believe that there's going to be one Antichrist out there. He's going to be a well-spoken person with a suit and tie. He's going to deceive the whole world. And that's not the case. The case is that there are many Antichrists, as we read here in the book of 1 John 2:18. Little children, it is the last time. So this goes back 2,000 years ago. So how much more now? It says, and as you have heard that anti-Messiah shall come, even now are there many anti-Messiahs. So there's many antichrists, many anti-messiahs, whereby we know that it is the last time. So how much more now? And the anti-messiahs are just talking about in general all people that are against the Messiah. Now, how do you know if you're against the Messiah or not? By measuring the truth with your belief. You know, this is why it says in 1 John 4:1, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are going out into the world, and these false prophets are deceiving the people. You know, hereby know ye the Spirit of the Most High. Every spirit that confesses that Yahushua has come in the flesh is of the Most High. So Yahushua came in the flesh 2,000 years ago for the purpose of delivering us, bringing us back into favor with the Most High, Yahweh. So anyone that teaches outside of that, they're going off. Because these guys are pretty much telling you to do things that are contrary to the scriptures so that you can trust in them and make them your Messiah. So that's why they are anti-Messiah. It says, and every spirit that confesses not that Yahushua has come in the flesh is not of the Most High. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, see, or anti-Messiah, whereof you have heard that it should come, and even now already it is in the world. So it was in the world back then, and how much more has it multiplied now? Like the scriptures say. Let me see if I can find that scripture. Let me get that, and then we could go back to 1 John 2. Oh man, I know it's in the book of 2nd Ezra. Right, beautiful here. 2nd Ezra 4:30. For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness hath it brought up unto this time. And this is going back 2,500 years ago during the time of Ezra when he was writing this. And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come, which we're approaching the time of threshing. And in order to really get understanding on that, if the Spirit allows, you could go to Revelation, the 14th chapter. Matter of fact, I'm going to hold that on deck. Spirit telling me to go to it. I'm going to hold that on deck. Because this holds a key. And this is why this microchip, the mark of the beast, is so important in prophecy and knowing where we at in prophecy. Knowing where we at in the end times. Because this thing, this microchip, this mark of the beast, this is what's going to finally fully bring the end in. And this is what's going to separate the wheat from the chaff. This is what's going to separate the ones that serve the Lord from the ones that don't serve the Lord. And this is what's going to bring the punishment to those that do not serve the Lord and do not take heed and take this thing lightly. The scriptures speak about those that are settled on their leaves, that take the word of the Lord light. You know? So let's go back. Let's go back now. Let's keep reading. Ye are of the Most High, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Why? Because these anti-messiahs are going to do things and say things and sound prolific to where they might even, if it were possible, they deceive the very elect. But that is not possible. It's not a possibility for the elect to be deceived. Why? Because the elect have something in them that the whole world does not have. And that is that special ingredient from the Lord, that eye salve, the thawah, which is the mark in the Old Testament, in the book of Ezekiel 9:4, the thawah, which means an exemption from judgment. That is the sign, that is the mark, an exemption from judgment. All right? And they will not be deceived. You know, they may get a little wooed and sway, like, oh, what? But then be like, well, wait a minute, man. You know, the scriptures say so-and-so and such and this and that. It says, they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world. That's why you have these false prophets, these false leaders like General Yohana, like Bishop Nate, that are of the world, and they speak of the world. It says, and the world heareth them. So those individuals that are not a part of this, even though they know they're Israelites, even though they wear the garments, you know, they keep the Sabbath, or however they keep it, or whatever the case is, they're still of the world. And the world heareth them, because they're not going to hear the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. they're not going to take heed to it. They're going to take heed and hang on everything that individual leader says without scrutinizing anything. It says, we are of the Most High. He that knoweth the Most High heareth us. See? Because the message is in men, but not every man. Even the Apostle Paul said that in the latter times, grievous wolves shall enter in among you, not sparing the flock. You see? So how will they not be sparing the flock? Because they will not stay the course as far as teaching the word and the right doctrine. They would sway. You know, they would teach something totally different. You know? And that was never something in the old school that was taught, that you'll take a vaccine. No, that was taught against back in One West, from what I remember. So it says, he that is not of the Most High heareth not us. Yeah, hereby we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. That's right. And that's why we read in the book of Malachi that particular ingredient that's given to the men of the Lord, sisters also, but I'm dealing with the men more so, because the men are the flock of the Lord that are out there teaching. And that is the most important part of the flock, because those are the men that keep and guard, you know, this word of the Lord. Just like the Lord had the cherubim, you know, at the with the flaming sword at the garden, guarding the tree of life. You know, so Lord's will, we be those men. We are the guardians of the tree of life, you know, which is this knowledge, this truth. Because this truth is that what leads us into the tree of life, to get that eternal life. Because it all starts with knowledge. So it says that Malachi 3:16, then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another. Right, because these guys don't fear the Lord. That's why they're going up and doing whatever the hell they want to do. That's why ISUBK did not keep the Passover this year. And they were commanded not to eat any lamb. Don't let me find out that you eat lamb. That's wicked, man. That's wicked. You know, it's like you threatening these people. These ain't your people. These are the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But if they're part of the 2/3 right now, they're not. You know? Yeah, that's a good scripture. Nadav, Ecclesiastes 1:25, the parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. That's right. You know, because they hate godliness. They, like the scripture say, they deny the power thereof. They have a form of godliness, but they deny the power thereof. That's in 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. It says, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, because the Lord is listening to what's going on in the earth. He's listening to the false prophets. He's listening to the righteous prophets. He's listening to everything that's going on. And the only thing that's soothing in the ears of the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is what we're teaching out here in these streets. You know? And we boldly proclaim that, not because we're being proud, but because we have that hope and that belief that we are teaching the right thing. Because it's in the scriptures. What these guys are teaching is not in the scriptures, man. They're teaching some wayward philosophies. Now they have the truth mixed in there, but the scriptures say that no lie is of the truth. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. So you can have 95% right, but then that 5% is wrong. It taints the whole thing. You know? So it says, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. You know, these guys are calling people black people. They're calling, you know, ISUBK mentions Yahweh and Yahushai, but very rarely. Most of the time they're saying Christ. I've heard other groups do the same thing, that claim that they're believers in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Nate and them, they don't even proclaim the name of the Most High or Yahushai. They just threw that in the garbage. GOCC, they don't proclaim the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. ICGJC, whatever the hell they're doing, they don't proclaim the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, and they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in the day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. And if you can't discern that, then I don't know what to tell you. You need to pray, fast, whatever you need to do to get in tune with the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because by now you should know the deal. All right, so going back to 1 John 2, 1 John 2 and 18, little children, it is the last time, and as you have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists. Now check this out, whereby we know that it is the last time, right? Then it goes on to say, they went out from us, meaning these Antichrists knew the truth. These anti-messiahs knew the truth. It says, but they were not of us. Why? Because you have certain men that crept in unawares. And they were in that Robert Neville mentality. I can save you. I can save you. I can save you. You can't save a goddamn thing. You can't save yourself. That's what we were reading in Jeremiah 17 and 5. Thus saith the Lord power. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. See? And that's what we're reading here. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. So the continue with us doesn't have to necessarily mean physically. Because, you have disagreements sometimes on certain things. And sometimes arguments break out and men go their separate ways. Just like the situation with Paul and Barnabas. But the thing is to keep teaching the word. The way it's taught. Not, no, now I got an opportunity. I'm not among these guys. So let me just do whatever the hell I want to do. No. Now with the situation with Great Millstone and breaking away from, actually getting kicked out of the house of David, pretty much we teach the same thing that we taught back then, but there was some tweaking going on, because there was a few things that were not 100% correct because the time, wasn't right. Like I remember. Elder Pastor was telling us that High Priest Ariah told him years ago about the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, that those things weren't happening right then. He said, but there's going to come a point where these prophecies are really going to start rolling out. Why? Because it was for a certain period of time. So there was tweaking that happened, but it wasn't. It's not very much different than what it was back then. Except for the Cornelius thing, which that was totally off, and the Romans 11 chapter. That the wild olive trees were talking about the other nations, and it wasn't, so that was like a major tweak that had to be worked out and fixed, and eventually it got fixed. And guess what happened when that came to pass? The floodgates of truth opened up as far as the Israelite foreigners was concerned, because we always knew through the Spirit that the Gentiles were Israelite foreigners, but that Cornelius thing and the Romans 11 thing wasn't really jiving with the rest of the breakdown because it was off. But I will say this, even back at One West, it was taught that Cornelius was an Israelite by High Priest Shah, and then High Priest Ariah got wind of it, and he went and corrected him. He said, I believe at that time he was in the truth for like 16 years. He said, the whole time, 16 years I've been in this thing, I always thought Cornelius was an Israelite. And then that got shut down for a little bit, but then it came back up because Pastor again told us a story where High Priest Ariah and High Priest Shah were talking and said, hey, Cornelius might be an Israelite. He said, High Priest Ariah said, call Pastor Tar. Back then he was known as High Priest Tar. And what happened was in the conversation, he said, what do you think about Cornelius being an Israelite? And Pastor Tar was teaching the class and he just hung up on him because it wasn't time for it to come out then. Because that was a very controversial topic. And that's the thing that caused them demons to kick us out of the house of David. But the point is that the idea was always there. Because the Spirit kept bringing it out. Like, look, this is Cornelius is an Israelite. And then once that came out that Cornelius was an Israelite indeed and not a heathen, then that's when Romans 11 started to open up. So that was that thing. That seemed like a major change was really always in the mix, always in the works. You see? So it wasn't something new that was taught after, we got kicked out of the house of David. It was something that had to come out. And the scriptures say that we were delivered from unreasonable and wicked men so that the word of the Lord could have free course. See? Because they were stifling a lot of things, especially at the house of David. Ya'asha and Rahab and Nate and all them, they were stifling a lot of things. They were causing the the truth to be stagnant because of their bullshit. And the Lord got tired of it and delivered us from that so that the word can have free course. And that's it. Now it's pretty much as far as the rest of the doctrine, it's the same. Anyway, so it said they let's read that again. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. And that's why you have guys that left, whatever they're probably with either whatever the whatever they happened back then, you know, they got offended, and then they started teaching a wayward doctrine. You know? So it goes on this. Oh, that's it on that. So now let's go from there to matter of fact, let me hit this one more precept. Yeah, I was reading the Elder Apostle Tara's comment. Ariad did say the Cornelius. You know? So I remember that because Elder Apostle Tara told us about you know how him and High Priest Ariad and High Priest Shaw spoke about Cornelius being an Israelite, you know, because High Priest Shaw, I remember, I'm not sure if I'm not sure where I heard it from, but I remember they said that High Priest Shaw had always taught that Cornelius was an Israelite because he always believed that. So that always was in the mix. It was always there, you know. Elder Pastor put Matthew 10:17, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils. That's right, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. That's right. And actually, at that council, after all was said and done, Apostle Tahar told them, "Look, man, this is a high-tech lynching," and they laughed because they knew that there was truth to that. You know, because if you having a council, the council is determined to find out who's right and who's wrong. Now, how can you have a just counsel? That's why it says in Psalms 1, you know, not to go into the counsel of the ungodly. Because if you go to a council to rectify a situation on the doctrine, and they already have a preconceived or prejudice, you know, which is they already had the judgment already typed up. All they were just waiting for was the right time to bring it out. Then how is that a righteous counsel? I thought the purpose of a council is to sit down and figure things out, but no, they already had the judgment already typed up, because at the end of it all, the Billy Goat McGruff, you know, mafia, he said, let's read the judgment. But wait a minute, the judgment was just we had just finished, you know, speaking on the whole situation. How can you just have a judgment that quick? And have it typed up. I mean, the guy is a person, a speed a typer. So it was wicked. Khan, Ariad did say that Cornelius was Israelite. See, so this was nothing new. You know, this was not nothing new, but it was something that kept coming up. Why? Because the truth is like that. The truth, if you take a buoy and you take a buoy to the bottom of the ocean, however far you can go down, a mile, however far you can go down, and you let that buoy go, guess what? It's going to keep on going up until it pops back up out of the water. And that's how the truth is. The truth cannot be stifled. You can hide it, you could lie about it, but eventually the truth is going to come out because it's pure. And that's why the Cornelius thing always kept coming up. And then the Spirit jumped on Elder Apostle Gabar to go into it. And then between him and Elder Apostle Tar, they say, yeah, you know what? Cornelius is an Israelite. And then, but that was the Spirit moving it in that direction. And that's what caused that big controversy at the House of David. They said we got kicked out further. No, it was the Cornelius thing. That was the thing that they really had the big problem with. And that's why we got kicked out. Now these other camps, some of these other camps are teaching it, but they never once say, you know, we want to apologize to Apostle Tahar, you know, and the rest of the elders, apostles, and the men of Connecticut, you know, back then, you know, because we kicked them out. We didn't believe that Cornelius was an Israelite. You know, we kicked them out for that, you know, and it was wrong, you know, but now we see the light. That would have been an honorable thing to do. You know, I would have been, oh man, these guys, they might be all right. But no. And then you have some that are still teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite because it's out of pride. They might see it, but they don't want to talk about it because they know what they did back then. You know? Hey, I'm just saying. All right, so let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. And that's what's going on right now with the ISUPK, with the IUIC and others, GOCC and others. They're deceiving you. You know? Anyone that's telling you to take a vaccine, they're deceiving you. And to my recollection, that was never something that was taught at the main school. Oh yeah, you know, brothers, October, you know, flu season's coming in. Everybody take your shots. I mean, the Lord brought me in January of 1993. So I don't know if anybody ever said anything like that. I don't ever recall ever hearing anything like that. As many tapes and the videos that I've watched and, you know, speakings that I've been to, I've never heard anybody say anything of that sort. So for them to teach that now, why are they doing it? And why all of a sudden all these guys popping up with these 501c3s? And then the ones that have the 501c3s are teaching a total different doctrine. They're teaching a different name. You know? They're not exalting the names of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And if they are saying the names, there's something within there that's fishy. Like ISUPK talking about take the vaccine. And then take the chip. Because the chip is not the mark of the beast. Come on, man. When all the evidence in the scriptures point to this chip, this technology that they have, and as each day goes by, there's more and more evidence and more information coming out. And how they're saying that this microchip is going to be connected to your medical records, your dental records, your criminal records, your financial records, and everything about your life. Even Aaron Russo said that in an interview with Alex Jones. You know, Alex Jones and him, they spoke about it, and Aaron Russo said that he asked Rockefeller about the microchip, and he said, look, they will have everything on there. Everything will be on there. And if they act up, we'll just shut it off. Because they knew that in the future they were going to have a smart world, you know, where everything is interconnected. The Internet of Things, the connection between the merging of man and machine. And they knew that because that was their plans, because that's what the Lord put in their minds. So what happened? They had the plans back then, and they told this guy, because they were trying to recruit him into the Illuminati, so to speak, or whatever they called it at the time, and he refused. You know, Elder Pastor said 95% of them are back in the world and are about to eat an ICBM. That's right, because that's the ultimate. And speaking about the microchip, this leads into this. As we said earlier, there was a scripture we were reading. I can't remember exactly where it was at. That spoke about. Wow, I wish I could remember what it was, because it actually mentioned something along the lines of being destroyed, if I remember correctly. And it brought this to mind, and this is why the Spirit had me say that this microchip, the mark of the beast, is a very key point in prophecy, because it's letting us know where we're at. We're at in prophecy, and if you take that mark of the beast, that microchip, you're going to be destroyed. Bottom line, Revelation 14:8. And therefore followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So the fall of Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great, will be what? Will be when the nuclear missiles are fired, when Yahushua and the angels come back, shoot the lasers from the chariots, and this whole place, this whole shithole goes up in flames, right? Dealing with the whole of America, the land of Israel, and whatever other parts those missiles will hit, wherever the Lord want those missiles to hit. So in that destruction, these are the people that are going to be destroyed. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, which Elder Pastor went into this before. The worshiping of the beast and the image, showing you that these are philosophies and the the whole Roman system, that these people are into, that they resurrected in America. But then when you read about the mark of the beast, it says, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, because the mark is not talking about a philosophy. It's not talking about a picture. It's not talking about an embargo. It's talking about an actual physical thing that will be inserted in people's hands or in their brain or on some part of their body to merge them with the machine, with artificial intelligence. And every piece of document that you go into and you read about the microchip and how because it's not something that, okay, they'll give you the microchip, you just have it at home, and you could, whatever you need it, you just do whatever you got to do with it. No, it's something that's going to be physically inserted in you to be able to merge you with the Internet of Things, the fourth industrial revolution. So if you do these things, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, because this is what's coming. So we're giving them warning, say, look, don't take that chip, because if you take the chip, you just bought yourself a one-way ticket to destruction. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, because when they push this mark of the beast and the majority of the people are injected with it, that's going to bring the end. Then you're going to see Yahushai, and Yahushai and the angels are going to know exactly who got the mark and who don't. They're going to know who took the physical mark of Esau, and they're going to know who has the spiritual mark of the Most High, the Thawah. And the smoke of their torment is sendeth up forever and ever, meaning it's going to burn for a long time. This is a process of time. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Yeah, because they will be destroyed. And the scriptures say that they that consent unto them shall be had in derision. Remember, once you sell out to this devil, there's no rest for you. You are his slave. Perpetual slave. Why do you think these entertainers are so messed up? Some of them are so demonic and drugged up that they don't, they can't think straight. But the ones of them that start to have second thoughts, you already sold out. You have no rest. So those of you that are pushing people to take this chip and comply with this devil, and you take it and comply with this devil, you're not going to have any rest. You're going to be on a constant. You're going to be like a hamster on those wheels. It says, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. That's right. Excuse me. Elder Pastor said, Nate and Johanna knows that the mark is a chip. They sold out. That's right. Yep. Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Yeah, because by now they been told time and time again. And remember, the Most High Yahweh is very long suffering. But now there's going to come a point where the Lord said, all right, that's enough warning. Now it's time now it's time to get busy. The brother Nadav 23, John 9:39, and Yahushua said, for judgment I am come into the world, that they would see not might see, which are talking about the elect that were blind at one time, and that they would see might not see. And that's talking about the ones that claim to be leaders, the ones that claim to be like Yahushua said, they that are whole need not a physician, and that they would see might be made blind. That's right. Brother Dark Matter, Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. That's right. The brother GMS Shine the Gospel, 2 Ezra 16:69. Yep, that's it. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Yeah, because eventually the ultimate trodden underfoot is when Yahushua comes back, as we're reading over here in Revelation 14:11. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. And now it goes into it. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushai. So these will be the ones that will be delivered from this impending danger. You know, this judgment that's about to come upon this world. So it goes on to say, and I beheld a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. This is talking about the men of the Lord that died in the truth, you know, who went into the heavens, finished their course, and the works that they've done is going to be the witness of their salvation. And they will be the first ones to go up into the chariots when they come up out of the graves. When you read the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. It says, And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, which is Yahushai, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle. Why? Because it's time to reap the earth. We read in Matthew the 13th chapter, you know, that the harvest is the end of the world, and the angels are the reapers. The children of the kingdom are the righteous, and the which is the wheat, and the chaff are the children of the wicked one, which is Esau. It says, and you're going to have 2/3 and the nations that are here in America that are going to fall under that chaff scenario, because they're going to be destroyed also. And reap, see, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And Yahushua is going to lead the charge with Michael by his side and the rest of the angels coming down to get busy. Because the Most High is about to send Yahushua and the angels to come down here and get busy on this devil. Finally. It says, and he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And this is during the time of the destruction. You know? This is Yahukanan, Ezekiel 22:20. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the iron, into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. That's right. Elder Pastor, Exodus 21:16. His master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. That's right. Adam Nana, Psalms 125:1 is, they that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. That's right. That's right. Elder Pastor, the awl is the vax, and in time the microchip. Yep, that's right, because that vaccine is gonna get it's the precursor, you know, the readying of the human body to receive this thing, so that because the body will fight against anything that invades it. But if you alter a person, you know, their DNA, then the body will accept it. This is why you have certain cancers and certain sicknesses that act like red blood cells or white blood cells. You know, they'll have a protein that covers them so that the fighters for the body cannot detect them. You know, and they can move about in the body and invade the body being undetected. And this is what Esau is doing. He's cloaking the body, you know, or tricking the body to accept, you know, the chip, you know. So back in Revelation 14:17, and another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that sat on the sharp sickle. To him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for the grapes are fully ripe. That's right. And this is the time we're coming to. You know, the harvest. Let's see. Adam Nana again. It says Isaiah 65:8. Thus saith the Lord, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them all. That's right. So the Lord has an elect that will not be destroyed. Elder Pastor, you need the microchip to be a part of the smart cities. Yeah, and the whenever you come, because of as long as the microchip is in you, what happens is it turns off. It's off, and when it hits a certain frequency or scan, it activates it. And that's how you are able to function everything in your house. That's why they made people get used to the Alexas and all those different things. Alexa, do this, or Alexa, do that. So that you can get used to that. And they show you the futuristic movies. When you come into a house, you have your coffee. You start brewing your coffee, or a machine starts making your food, so on and so forth, just by you giving voice commands, or by that that device that will be in your hand or on your forehead, which is the microchip. So it goes on to say. Revelation 14:19, and the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. So the great winepress. So the Lord is comparing the destruction of America to the great gatherer, getting the grapes that are ripe, and putting them on in the threshing floor and stomping the grapes to get the wine out. Right? So the Lord is gonna intoxicate the earth with this vine that He's about to bring upon it, which is the people that are gonna be the grapes, and the blood of the grapes, and the fire being that the threshing. It says, and the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. So there's going to be a lot of blood shed here in America and in the land of Israel and other parts of the world. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed. And on top of that, Yahushua is going to destroy those militaries, those armies that are gathered together over there in the Middle East. Pastor said even Saneda knows the ISUBK is going off. Yep. And that's a damn shame. The brother Dark Matter says, Khan, the all is a sharp object that was used to pierce through the skin of the ear, and the hole in the ear was sign mark that indicated that man was a perpetual slave. The all in today's time will inject the MAX or RFID chip to make that person a perpetual slave. That's right. And the all looks like a ice pick. If you type in all into the search engine, it looks like an ice pick. That's what it reminds me of. Elder Pastor, Revelation 13:16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Yeah. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. That's right. Revelation 14:9. Yep. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. And that's pretty much what's going to happen. They're going to be destroyed. So let's go to Zephaniah 1:14 real quick. It says, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. So this is the great day that we're waiting for. Even the voice of the day of the Lord. So the voice of the day of the Lord is what? The prophecies that are speaking, that are being brought out, that are actually speaking the words that the Lord already spoke about. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Yeah, because even these military men are going to be in fear of these things that are coming, because they're not going to know how to defend against that. That's why the scriptures say that they were afraid, yet there's fight. because the Lord is going to put the Spirit on them to fight. It said that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Yeah, because it's going to be the ultimate destruction of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and that's what he's bringing. He's bringing that destruction for the wickedness of the people on the earth. When you go back to the book of Genesis, the 6th chapter, the Lord said that the wickedness of man was great upon the earth. So it said he repented the Lord that he made man. He said he would destroy man from off the face of the earth. You know, and the Lord is bringing this destruction because the earth is totally corrupt, man. And not only is it corrupt morally, it's also corrupt physically. You know? It says, I just want to get, right here, Isaiah 13 and 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. See? And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Yeah, so it's going to be, the Lord is going to destroy this place because it's totally wicked on all levels. The only thing here that's righteous is the cluster of the Lord for salvation, the elect. And that's because the Lord made them righteous. All right, so going back to Zephaniah 1:16, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of death. Let's get this one real quick, and then we'll finish that out. Isaiah 66 and 15. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. And the fire, Yahushua said that, I am come to send fire upon the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? Because you're going to have missiles flying. You're going to have, man, it's going to be devastating. To where the Lord's going to have to keep the earth together intact. Because it's going to be rocking to and fro like a drunkard. There's going to be a great earthquake upon it from those missiles hitting the surface of the earth. To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. And it means just that, they shall be many. Because here it says, and I will bring distress upon men. Do not we read that in Ezekiel the 21st chapter? You know, that there's going to be distress upon the nations and perplexity. It says that they shall walk like blind men. Why? Because they're not going to know what to do. Because they have sinned against the Lord. Because there's a great evil upon the earth. A total, straight up, total disregard for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua's word. So the Lord is coming to rectify that by bringing hell and fire upon them. It says, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, which is America. The whole of America, Babylon the Great, will be on fire by those missiles and by the lasers from the chariot and whatever other natural resources are here in this country that are going to fuel that fire. And that's why it's going to burn for a long time. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Because it's not going to take the Lord long. Speedy riddance, 1 hour. This place will be gone. It took all of these hundreds of years to build this place up. And in 1 hour, it'll be gone. Let's look up the word speedy. You have the word bahal. To disturb, alarm, terrify, hurry. Be disturbed, be anxious, be afraid, be hurried, be nervous, haste, be hasty. It's going to be quick. It's not going to take long. So it says speedy, and then let's go to the word riddance. Kalah. Completion, termination. So America is going to be fired in that day. Literally. Full end. Because they're going to come to their full end. Complete destruction. There's not going to be anything left here. Nothing. So the devils that are in those bunkers in America, guess what? That's going to be your tomb, your grave. You ain't going to come up after the smoke clears and start your bullshit again. Oh, hell no. It says completion, completion altogether, completion, destruction, consumption, annihilation. Annihilation. Let's look up that word annihilation real quick. The word annihilation. All right, Esau always got to do some bullshit. Meaning, the state or fact of being completely destroyed or obliterated. See, the act of annihilating something of the state of being annihilated. The late 1940s and 50s were so pervaded. Well, that's going pervaded by a general fear of nuclear annihilation, and this is what's going to cause the annihilation. Nuclear. It's going to be nuclear. That's why what's his face? Albert Einstein said, you know, if World War III is fought, the World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones, because this is going to be a nuclear war. That the era was known as the age of anxiety. Yeah, and they showed you that in that movie that came out in 1983, the day after. You know, and everybody saw that everybody was in a somber mood. You know, everybody was afraid and nervous. You know, because of the devastation, the devastating power of a nuclear missile. And that was just a movie. They didn't even show you the real, actual effects of nuclear destruction. They just show you like a scenario of what could happen. And people were nervous. You know, so just imagine when it actually starts flying. You know, men's hearts failing them. Let's go to that. Luke 21. And I'm closed after this, but I'm expecting a call. I should be getting a call soon. Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. And we see in it, and actually right now as we speak, today is December 20th, 2020, the year of prophecy. Tomorrow, the 21st, there's going to be an alignment of Jupiter and I believe it was Saturn, the two biggest planets. It's going to be like an alignment, and that's along the winter solstice, you know, which is a change of seasons, and that's one of the days that they're talking about really pushing that, you know, Maxine really hard, you know, because these devils, they do things according to time. They do things according to certain periods of time in the year, because they use those days to worship their false gods, you know. So that's what's coming up. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, you see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. Salakia. So likewise ye, when you see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand. So this is why we're looking for these things, as we see in the prophecy speaking. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. And this is that ultimate generation when these things are going to happen. And this generation was back then 2,000 years ago with Yahushua. And they're here again. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as so in other words, be vigilant. You know, like it says in Ephesians, be circumspect. You know, knowing the time. Measure the time diligently in itself. Watch as well as pray. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the earth, on the face of the earth of Salakia. A little excited. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Because this is something that's going to come, you know, it's going to be a worldwide event. You know? It's going to be a worldwide event. All right. It says, watch ye therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. That's right. All right. So these things are happening, and this was this is why Yahweh told the disciples, that you shall sorrow and the world shall rejoice. It says, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy, because at the end the disciples will actually see these things actually coming to pass and happening, and that they would go from a sad, depressed state to a happy state, because they know that the Lord is coming back, and they would be excited about it, while the rest of the world would be in mourning when this happens. Revelation 18:20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. So we know that the avengement of our avengement is coming back, when these things happen. And the sooner they happen, the better. You see? So we're at that time now, So with that, I'm going to close the lesson out there. Like I said, I'm expecting a phone call soon. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. The water for all the comments on the comment board, I pray that you brothers have been edified. Until the next time I say Shalom. And the water for all the scriptures.